Hello, and welcome to the Focusing Way podcast, available on iTunes and Stitcher. I'm your host, David Battistella. I've been living in Italy since the year 2011, and observing Italians in a focusing way has been an interesting experience. We often say in focusing that slowing down is the fastest way there, and perhaps nowhere is this more true than in Italy. The country, the Italians, have a different pace and a different way of being. One might dismiss this if one were looking at it from a purely cultural perspective, but I'd like to consider it positively and in a focusing way. Italians speak with their hands. There's much that is communicated through the combination of the spoken word and the gesture or movement to accompany it. While it might partially be because Italian has about 200,000 words compared to 600,000 in English, which might explain the movement to make up for lost words, I believe it's due to a connectedness that Italians have to the body. It's a physical culture. Hugging, gesturing, embracing, air kissing. These are all ways of expressing more with the body. As focusers, it's essential to be in the body, and we witness Italians in the body often. They are also keen observers. Italians look into your eyes. They are honest, and they'll tell you when they see something in the body revealing something about you. It's not uncommon to hear people say to one another, "You seem tired. Have you had a rough week?" They might notice if you're standoffish. The point is, they read body signals, and they're keenly aware of themselves and what their own body is telling them. You see this play out often with food. At lunch tables, you can really feel each person's meal decision is something that is felt. There is genuine consideration for what the person both wants to eat, tempered with what the body needs. This is another form of focusing. It's the pause between a mind reaction and a body feeling. What do I mean by that? Well, it's a type of basic awareness. You might want to eat a pastry, but this would be the practical pause and taking time to sense into what is actually right for you in that moment. It's all about the senses. Smelling food before eating it, for example, is another form of focusing. Making the first bite a focusing bite. Savoring the flavor and then really deciding if the food is good and right for the body right now. I know it seems like I'm just breaking down a meal, and if you're hearing this at lunchtime, it might be making you hungry, but it really is a way of being, and I hope I'm illustrating the fact that focusing is a stepping in process. It's one delicate, gentle step at a time, and it's a way to really be connected to the body and sense for what is exactly right for the whole organism at that moment. I'm not talking about mind over matter. What I'm talking about here is the very relationship between mind and matter. So next time you sit down for a meal, maybe take a moment to honor the body. Really ask your body what it wants and needs. See if you can be supportive in that process. This focusing work starts with the body. So really taking the time to both consider and ask the body what it wants and needs is, to me, as essential as any other part of the process. And this kind of awareness might help you live in a focusing way. You've been listening to the Focusing Way podcast, available on iTunes and Stitcher. I'm your host, David Battistella.